police officers in Minneapolis have been fired, and the FBI is investigating a death connected to these officers. The death of George Floyd, a black man in Minneapolis who was filmed begging cops to not kill him.
What they did there killed a guy, 100%. So what we teach our cops across the country, and I'm not interested in any BS that's out there to cover the ass of all of these police departments. We teach them brutality as a matter of course. We teach them the black lives don't matter as a matter of course.
As of this week, we're seeing another uninvited hashtag. That's regarding an indiscriminate killing of yet another young black person. In this case, it is 26-year-old BREONNA Taylor. She was an EMT. She was found dead in her home back in March, on March 13th. It's in Kentucky. After Louisville Metro Police, they broke into her house, shot her at least 8 times, and apparently it was a misidentification or a drug raid gone wrong. And Benjamin Crump tweeted out, he said, the Louisville police fatally shot BREONNA Taylor. They had the wrong address, and their real suspect was already in custody, as I mentioned. So 2 months later, no one has been held accountable for her death, but we will change that.
A 25-year-old black man who was jogging in Brunswick, Georgia, was brutally gunned down by a former cop and his son. There was a third individual who was filming the incident, and the video was recently posted online. Now, unfortunately, the 25-year-old man has died as a result of this, what's now being referred to as a modern-day lynching. AHMAUD Arbery is his name.
A Fort Worth, Texas police officer shot and killed a 28-year-old woman in her home, a black woman, this weekend. And this all happened after her neighbor called the non-emergency number for a wellness check on her. It was supposed to be simple. Her name is ATATIANA Jefferson.
The Sacramento Police Department has released body cam footage following the shooting of a 23-year-old man by the name of STEPHON Clark. He was shot and killed in his own backyard, and it all happened when police were looking for an individual who was breaking into cars. They allegedly mistook Clark as the suspect and chased him into his grandmother's backyard. He was living with his grandmother at the time, and believed that he had a gun when in reality he was holding his cell phone. And the 2 police officers fired 10 shots each, so 20 shots total.
It drives me crazy that I have to say this about dead people, the people who are victims. He didn't do anything wrong. He has no criminal record. Even his girlfriend who taped the incident keeps telling the cops he's not a gang member. We're innocent. You shouldn't have to say that, but if you're black in America, you got to tell the cops, hey, I know you're assuming that I'm guilty, but I'm actually innocent. But they shot and killed him anyway. In this case, it's Philando Castile. This is in Falcon Heights outside of St. Paul.
Months ago, a 12-year-old by the name of TAMIR Rice was shot and killed after someone called the police stating that Rice had a gun. Now, the caller didn't know that TAMIR Rice had a replica gun, not a real gun. And so the cops showed up to the scene, and at that point, a police officer, a rookie police officer by the name of Timothy Lohman, shot and killed him.
In Chicago, we have yet another African-American who was shot and killed by cops. His name is LAQUAN McDonald. He was 17 years old. Now, in this case, he did have a knife. He was nowhere near the officers. He was nowhere near using it. But he was shot 16 times by Jason Van Dyke.
Earlier this year, a 22-year-old man by the name of John Crawford was shot and killed by police officers in Cleveland after he was in a Walmart carrying a BB gun, okay? It wasn't a real gun, but as he was talking to his girlfriend on the phone, he had the BB gun by his side. He was swinging it around. Someone called the cops on him. Cops showed up, they shot him, and they killed him.
Here we go again. Another black man killed by a white police officer and no indictment. Eric Garner was killed in July of this year because the police put him in an illegal chokehold. And the medical examiner said he died because of the chokehold and ruled it a homicide. A grand jury in Staten Island apparently did not agree and refused to indict.
A Chicago police officer was found not guilty this week in the off-duty shooting of 22-year-old REKIA Boyd in 2012.
Back in 2010, there was a botched raid in Detroit or near Detroit, which resulted in a sleeping 7-year-old girl being shot and killed by a police officer. That police officer is Joseph Weekly, and it was decided recently that he will not face any charges for that botched raid or the fact that he shot and killed a sleeping 7-year-old.